get right now the next speaker on board, Mr. Venkatesh. While we get Mr. Venkatesh on board, I just want to give you a heads up. Mr. Venkatesh Sarvasiddhi is the head digital skills, innovation, partnerships, and CSR at the National Skill Development Corporation, Government of India, of course. And Mr. Venkatesh works with NSDC, heading the digital skills industry partnerships, innovation, and CSR engagements, and building the policy and framework for the skilling motion in India. He also heads the eSkill India under the Digital India Initiative to empower youth, leads the innovation practice and engaging with the startup ecosystem, partnering with industry to foster growth by building scalable and sustainable technology. A lot more about Mr. Venkatesh is available on our website. I encourage all our attendees to visit our website, click on his image or the topic in the agenda. You will learn a lot more about Mr. Venkatesh. Now it's time for me to welcome Mr. Venkatesh, and thank you so very much kindly for being with us on day 2 of our event. We had the big boss of NSDC yesterday as our opening keynote speaker. So I would welcome Mr. Venkatesh to take it away, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure talking to all of you and addressing. Hope I would try to stick to the time. I just want to ensure that is it 15 minutes or 20 minutes is good enough, or should I keep it much shorter?
15 to 20 minutes is good. There
Okay.
may be questions, so if you can keep it for 15.
Yeah, I would love to maybe spend 5 minutes on Q&A. Let me try and see I stick to the time and complete it as per the schedule. So welcome you all. National Skill Development Corporation is formed under the aegis of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. So, India actually, if you look into as a country, we have the demographic advantage of being the youngest nation, people falling between the age groups of, 15 to 35. And if you look into majority of the population falls below 25 years, till the time frame of 2035 or 2032, we have this demographic advantage. And that brings in an opportunity, at the same time a challenge. The challenge is, we have many youth in the country who are youngsters. It is very important for us to skill them and ensure that they are employable, they are more job creators. How can we drive not just job seekers, but also drive job creators, which has been recently been addressed through a new educational policy announced by the Prime Minister. So NSDC plays a very critical and very interesting role in creating platforms that can digitally skill people. Just giving you a little bit of background in terms of where do we stand as an India as an online education space. These are some of the numbers from the KPMG and the Google report, which talks about 2016 to 2021. The kind of market size and how the market is moving. We can see a lot of increase in the demand or increase in the spend overall as a market in the primary and the secondary education system. Test preparation sites, India is very well known for this. Whether you look into organizations like Baiju or Topper, Vedantu, and some of these emerging edtech firms are coming from India. And then there are a lot of work around reskilling and online certifications. Reskilling not only just in the ecosystem of the colleges, but also in the ecosystem of various organizations. Because if you look into traditionally, even if I pick up the top 6-7 large services firms like Infy, Wipro, TCS, HCL, Cognizant, and Tech Mahindras of the world, there's a lot of necessity for upskilling and reskilling some of the talent on various trends, both on the hard skills, the latest emerging technologies, at the same time on soft skills, because the ecosystem is constantly changing. And these are some of the kind of, and on the right side, you will see key drivers for driving this kind of a growth in online education, availability of quality education, employability quotient, and then government's digital initiatives, smartphone user base. Thanks to Geo and others of the world, we can see now the Facebook and the Microsofts and the Googles of the world have invested majorly in driving the internet penetration across the country. We can see that, and guys have seen that in the last couple of weeks, because they made large investments in Geo as a platform to scale. And then you have this younger population and the cost of online education. To power it up all is the current situation of the COVID-19. So organizations, schools, colleges, every ecosystem has to now rethink on the digital side, because that's where the opportunity to scale and sustainability comes in the current situation. Moving on further, I just want to give you how the organizations across the world are looking at an e-learning landscape. There's a very interesting slide, if you look into, divided into 4 quadrants. The left side is the large organizations like Microsoft, Amazon, McKinsey, NIIT, IBM, Oracle, Cisco, UiPath. Each one of them have their own skill ecosystem platforms, whether it is a Microsoft MS Learn or Amazon AWS Educate or an Intel AI Academy, wherein they provide rich content related to their platform, free of cost, accessible to everyone. Either, for example, look at an Infosys, which has a Microsoft center of excellence, and there are a bunch of software engineers who are working in Infosys, working on the platform of Microsoft. If they want to upgrade their skills, they can use an Microsoft MS Learn. Or a bunch of students who want to learn on Alexa coding skills, they may log into AWS Educate and access those programs. The content is richly available, and these organizations have played a major role in bringing content together. Now look at the right side of the spectrum, where you have the majority of the players like the Coursera's, edX, Udemy's, and other MOOCs of the world, which are very well known and popular in the Indian ecosystem, as well as the worldwide ecosystem. So the third quadrant is about the government-driven skills and skilling platform. Whether you look at NPTEL, whether you look at Swayam, you look at IGNOU or a Future Skill, a lot of effort is being done by the government in terms of building these platforms. And the right side, the last quadrant, is about the startups in the ecosystem, which are doing good, raising their Series C, D, and E, whether it comes to an Baiju or a Simply Learn or a Pluralsight or an Udacity or a Manipal ProLearn. There's a lot of work that is getting done in this space. Now, let's moving further. What is eSkill India? eSkill India is an aggregator portal, a platform created by NSDC, and it's a single stop portal for anything to do with skilling. Whether you're working in an ecosystem organization like a Maruti or a Mahindra in an automobile, or you're working with Infosys Wipro in a tech ecosystem, or you're working in any sector, retail sector, an FMCG sector, you look into upgrading your skills and look at certain national occupational standards, so that you can upgrade your skills, which are recognized by the employers across the ecosystem. We have built a portal where anything and everything is made available, relevant to skilling ecosystem, right from enrollments to courses online to accessing them, workloads, and then even completion, assessments, and also in some areas we also help them with an eSkill India certification that they've gone through this course. So it's a self-paced, anytime, anywhere learning ecosystem. We have more than 500 plus catalog courses, 4 lakh minutes of free e-content, and we also ensure that the content at the national level is available free of cost as much as possible, so that every person across every district of India can look into accessing this information and upgrading their skills. I'm also happy to share that the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendras, for others who are joining from the other parts of the world, means centers of excellence for skilling set up under the Prime Minister's vision. These are the skill centers of excellence, and we have presence in almost every district of India. So that's the kind of a beauty and the kind of a scale at which we operate. Some of our partners include the global majors like Salesforce or a Sailor Academy from Washington, or a SAS or a Better You or a TCS. You have broad range of players, from Badwani Foundation to institutions like Amrita, and to startups and IBM, large organizations like IBM, Microsoft, Airtel. We have a bunch of these guys with whom we partner to bring in the rich content. And the other model which we have also executed or implemented for so many HR people who would be hearing to us today is a model in which you can partner with NSDC to further enhance a specific program, which could be of social innovation, livelihood, diversity, inclusion, or anything to do with education. For example, Britannia runs this Marigold Startup Challenge to empower household women, to come up with interesting ideas and fund some of the top 10 ideas and give them a 10 lakhs prize each. So in the season one, which we just ended up in month of June, where we had national finals, this year we had 1.5 million entries in spite of COVID-19. Entrepreneurs across India have provided access to them on eSkill India, a very dedicated and a very curated kind of a course which can empower their skills, which talks about English, employability, and entrepreneurship in different languages, so that these women can really not only not everyone would end up winning those prizes because these are limited, but everyone who participates actually gets through a 3 months kind of an online module to understand everything about entrepreneurship and get a certificate post that, so that they can go to NBFCs, raise some small amount, and can become nano entrepreneurs in their own domains. So this was a project which was very well taken by the ecosystem, and we had a huge participation. We just ended up doing in June. For some of our HR officials who are on the call, would like to look into this kind of models to collaborate with us, I'll be more than happy if you guys can share your ideas post this call. Similarly, during the COVID time, we have partnered with Amazon in creating India's largest digital outreach campaign, wherein Amazon and NSDC has come together in creating content shared with 2 lakh plus users across the skill ecosystem covering 30 plus states and union territories, and a large outreach across 730 plus Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendras, or the PM's centers of excellence for skilling. So this campaign has been very, very phenomenal in terms of helping a lot of people in their own dialects, in their own languages about COVID and awareness around COVID. This was primarily, we started off this campaign in the month of March, and we ran this campaign till July, and we have seen great success in creating this digital outreach. In the last month, we have also had the opportunity to partner with Microsoft when Satya Nadella announced a large number of people, close to 25 million people across the globe would be impacted through digital skilling positively, and Microsoft is committed for this engagement worldwide. As part of that initiative, we've been the first movers across many countries to have the first pilot rolled out with NSDC, wherein we are committed to skilling lakh people through digital literacy modules in the next 12 months. So people are excited about it. There's a lot of youth which has already started participating and attending these training sessions. And Microsoft and NSDC showed their commitment in terms of empowering people on a digital platform. Similarly, I put across, different partnerships. Amazon and Britannia already touched upon. The British Council, we also seen that English is becoming very important as a skill across the skilling ecosystem. So we partnered with British Council in rolling out free certifications. Otherwise, the cost of certificate costs 750 rupees. So we rolled out a free certification model of certifying 1 lakh plus people on English through their English core app of British Council. Similarly, Sailor Academy, or in HR, or even in organizations which are focused on learning, and schools and colleges too. The beauty of the Sailor Academy, it's a philanthropic organization based out of Washington, D.C. Unlike edX and Coursera, where the content is free and you need to pay a small amount for certification, or a subscription model like Coursera, which has, Sailor Academy offers everything free. Content is free, online training is free, and even certification is free. So, for individuals who are not aware of this, you can log on to eSkill India, access Sailor Academy, and get the benefit of your course certifications also free of cost. So similarly, in interest of time, I just want to quickly run through Salesforce. We have partnered with them in skilling people, zero point 0.5 million people. We expect to skill in the next 2 to 3 years on CRM as a platform. With SaaS, we are working on different sectors: banking, finance, manufacturing, IT, retail, in driving skills around analytics. upgrade, we are looking at offering free online classroom class tools to enable trainers, especially due to physical lockdowns. Classrooms are transformed from a physical classrooms into an online classrooms, and upgrade is helping us in the process. Similarly, as Virtual Learn and ID mentors, with whom we have partnered in driving certifications, technology trainings, and skilling around it. Wadhwani Foundation is again a philanthropic organization wherein we work very actively with them on Triple E module in driving English, employability, and entrepreneurship content across India. So this is the model of the Triple E. We found this as a very interesting model. We make this as a part of PMKK KBY, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, which is run across all the districts. This is a key portion and a component of it. So we have seen driving people and skilling them in English, employability skills, the soft skills, as well as the entrepreneurship skills will make sure that India will actually have a proper direction to go, because there's a lot of migrant laborers which have moved back to their villages from cities, and we believe non-entrepreneurship is very, very relevant for them. In the next 8 to 12 quarters, we will see a huge opportunity there for skilling people on non-entrepreneurship. So I come to the end. I think I'm with you on time, and I would love to take any questions if we have some time.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much, Venkatesh. Couple of very quick observations. There's a lot of great stuff being done by NSDC, as well as quite pleased and relieved to know that government entities are almost looking like private corporations these days. So kudos and congratulations to you for bringing about these kind of initiatives. I can understand that this must be a huge challenge in terms of the size and number of people that you would have to bring it into fold. I'm sure you're talking in the hundreds of thousands as opposed to smaller organizations. So I'm sure it's a challenging one. Yes, of course, a couple of things that I'd like to talk about is one particular question is how, very interesting, how do you implement eSkill India in rural areas that are not connected to the internet? Sorry. This question is asked by Ms. Shalini Singh.
Right. So, I think one key thing which we look into in a country like India is the cost of data is coming down day by day, thanks to a lot of competition and work by Jio, Airtel, and some of these broadband creators, and they've been making sure that everybody has an access to data, and India as a country has access to cheapest data if you look into the price points. Number two, across her question around accessibility of eSkill India across the smaller places. So we have these Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendras, like in Indian Postal Office, we have them set up in every district of India. India has almost 855 close to districts, and we have 812 Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendras, almost covering the length and breadth of India. In these PMKK centers, we have very good infrastructure, so people do come to access eSkill India. So, and even download the application of eSkill India, and even if they don't have internet, there are workloads which they can download at the center, take back home, and go through it and come back. Of course, they need a mobile device or any kind of a device. Now, device cost is also coming down, but access certainly is one of the challenges. But we have the PMKKs which addresses those things, and at the same time, we recently also partnered with Airtel in driving connectivity as well as creating employability skills across all our PMKKs. So with the coming time, I don't see that as a huge challenge because the internet penetration is happening rapidly in Indian ecosystem.
Correct. I mean, with the scale of adaptability of mobile and any connected device for that matter in our country, it's just going to change probably the entire landscape of how people get skilled in the future. And you are also making it extremely affordable for people to get on board and learn and get ready for the future. That's fantastic. I appreciate all your contributions, Mr. Venkatesh, and thank you so very much, sir, for being part of the event. Do stay back. You can continue to watch as an attendee as long as you can and you wish. I will now need to move